Okay, hopefully now everybody can get on, everybody can see. Hopefully we can see the chat.
Sure.
Okay, hopefully now everybody can get on. It's just, I'm not even joking. It's like, if it really isn't one thing, it's another. It's like
I have
this.
videos in front of me. I do not have the live feeds thing.
I do. I was able to get it.
Where is it?
Over there.
You know? Okay, I see it.
You got it?
I had to reload the flipping.
Ooh, that's fun. You gotta love it. So, yeah, let's give people a couple of minutes.
I hear us and all.
You do?
So, yep, I did.
Well, that's a good start. You know, the fact that we can, be heard and seen and
hear each other,
Unlike, what was it, last week?
It was a cluster F.
Yeah, you couldn't even hear me.
Nope. I'm good now.
Ah. My hair is like all over the place today. Is it supposed to rain or something? Because I'm telling you, like, my hair had, like, the second I woke up, it was like, it's like the humidity is high.
You need
some
product for that.
We need to get the ACs in the window.
Already?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know me. I'm saying, because of my illness and whatnot, like, my body just does not like heat. Like, as much as I love summer, for whatever reason, my body just doesn't tolerate it. But
you want to move further south?
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna work. Honey, that ain't gonna work for you.
Oh, I'll figure it out. It's called Central AC. But, summer, spring and summer, like, even though it's hot, even though my body doesn't like it all that much, I enjoy it more than I do the winter, because it's like, when the way that I see it is, in the summer, you can dress lightly. Sorry, no, sorry. I like the winter more than I like the summer. So in the summer, you can only take off so much before it becomes illegal. In the winter, you can put on as much as you want.
It becomes illegal. I can see you running around hopped up on medication, being like, I can't take off anymore. Flapping your ass in the breeze.
Oh God, that you see, the problem is you're right. That is actually something that I would do.
Off anymore. My skin doesn't come off.
Let's see if anybody is in the room. I see that we have 2 viewers. I just don't know where they are.
In hell.
Probably. Just like, no kidding, right?
No, that's just us, honey.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed. Give people a minute.
Never.
Yeah.
Get the hell in the room now,
Get in the
biatches.
room. Should I post
No,
out?
no.
I should probably post out another bulletin. This time I'll do it
Possibly.
on my. This time I'll do it on my regular Facebook.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, instead of putting it on, because I'm telling you, like, I don't think people get the link and stuff when I put it on the our uh, crap WNP's Facebook page. Like, I'm telling you, people don't get it. Like, they don't actually physically get the notification, and I don't know why. So my guess is that, it has to be with them, right?
I think only people who are part of the group get it.
Yeah,
That's why.
and a lot of them are a part of the group. So maybe, some people just have it not clicked on the right settings so that they can see all the messages that come through.
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me. It's a very viable option. Bye
Okay,
bye.
there we go. Post that in there. Oh, good. You can see my beautiful face right on Facebook. That's exactly what people want to see.
Yay! It is a beautiful face.
We don't
Did you
talk.
end up going to get your nose pierced, by the way?
No, I didn't. So,
I didn't see. I didn't think I saw a nose piercing. So
so
it's very sad.
it,
It's very
it
sad.
is gonna happen. It is gonna happen. It's just a matter
You're
of
gonna be a
when.
friggin' pincushion.
I am already a pincushion, honey. I got 10 piercings. I counted them the other day. I was like, how many do
Well,
I have?
stop.
I need them all. I
You're gonna
saw
end up.
what?
You're gonna end up like that kid from the Chevy Chase Las Vegas movie, where
Yeah,
his lips are like
sewed together by
pinned
his
shut up.
piercings. Yeah.
Yep, and you're gonna be eaten through a straw.
Well, I already drank through a straw, so that should be fun.
Hmm.
I look forward to that. I'm not getting any. I don't think I'm gonna get anything else done on my face. Besides my nose. Like, I thought about doing dimple piercings.
You
And
told me that, and it
yeah,
wasn't gonna look right
yeah, and well, no, the guy said
or
that
heal right.
my cheeks are a little thicker, and
Hmm.
he was nervous of how it would heal, and
Yeah,
so that's why I wound up getting the dermals on this side. And originally, I only got 2 dermals to start with.
they're
Um,
pretty.
so, oh my god, I love my dermals. And so when I I went in with thinking, oh, I'm gonna get the dimple piercings done. I'm gonna have 2 done at the same time because it just makes it easier to do it that way. And then the more that once I started talking to the guy, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I don't recommend these for you because your face just, your cheeks are too thick and it might not heal correctly. And so that's when he was talking about the dermals. And at first I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, having a chunk of my skin taken out to put an anchor in. And then I wound up doing it, and I got 2 done. That's, back to back at the same time. And
Right.
I was looking in the mirror like 3 days later because I was finally able to clean them up, to take, the band-aid off. And the more that I was looking at them, the more I'm like, 2 isn't enough. Like, this this doesn't look good. So I went back and got a second one. Well, a third
They're
one.
pretty.
Yeah, yeah. And like the cool thing is too is like because they're individual piercings, I
Hmm.
can actually I can unscrew them and I can put different
That's
ones
cool.
in. Yep. It's
How
wicked
much did
cool.
that hurt?
So you have your lip pierced, right?
I used to, yeah.
So it's almost it's almost like that, except it hurts just a little bit more.
Mm.
But you also got to remember that I have a very high, pain tolerance.
I'm the
Um,
same way.
well, yeah, actually, why?
You figure,
Yeah, yeah. So,
considering all the time we've been medical grade pincushions.
oh yeah, yeah. You and I, we have our normal rooms in the hospital.
And then we go to the piercing shop and hurt ourselves on purpose. There's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference. One is for pleasure.
Right?
And so yeah, so they don't hurt as much as what you would think. They do hurt a little bit more than a regular piercing, um, but it's not as bad as you would think. And for me, like when the guy did it, the initial piercing part when he was putting the needle in, now that hurt. Um, I want to say though that lasted maybe 30 seconds, and that was it. And then the next day it was sore, but it didn't hurt like
Mm.
bad at all or anything.
Well, that's good
Yeah. So there's
because
also
because we like to take flesh out of our face.
we do, and we
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 do.
we enjoy our defleshing process. So the defleshing process,
We're sadistic people. No, or is it masochistic? Yeah,
masochistic.
that one.
Yeah, yeah, we like the pain.
Yep.
Yeah, and so what else was I gonna say? So
You
yeah,
were saying
so
something.
yeah, so I was gonna go back and get that nose done, and I was like, okay, well, you know what, I'll go and do this, get my nose pierced, and 15 things happened at the same time.
I
Magoo
bet.
Magoo flew off of his cage
Peachy.
for no reason.
Again.
Yep, for no reason. He was just sitting up there, and then the next second he's on the floor. So
Why?
I had to come in. I had to fight with him to get him back up onto his cage. And then
Wunderbar.
I had that whole thing with Best Buy and
Mm-hmm.
the new camera. And so I had to go handle that. And then finally I was just like, you know what? I'm tired. I have been running rampant all day at that point. And
Right.
I figured that it just made a little more sense to just go home. Because I'm like, if I stay out here any longer, it's not gonna be a matter of if something else goes wrong. It's gonna be a matter of when.
Right. You were just done at that point too.
Hmm.
So I hear
Oh, I was very done, very very done. I was so over it. Um,
you.
and it's like I love Magoo. I do. I love him to death. He's my little baby, my little prince, and um,
He ain't a prince. He's a little.
he's a little
You know what?
yeah. And so but that I love my kids.
Of
But
course.
it's become one of those things that it's my heart breaks for him, and it breaks for him regularly because I don't like seeing him in distress. I don't like knowing that he's in distress, and
Right.
so we try not to mess with him really. Like we don't take him out the cage anymore. Um, we don't try to touch him. We just kind of let him be. And when I'm in the den, he will sit there and he'll talk to me. He'll say hello. He takes treats and whatnot from me without a problem. Um, but other than that, that's it. Like last night, I did take him down off of his cage. Because you remember how I told you that he slammed into the cage one day?
Yes.
And that's how he went blind?
Jesus.
So
If it's not one thing, it's another with him.
it really is. I'm not even joking. I am not even joking. Like, not only was it bad enough that day that I was trying to clean his cage and he goes flying off his cage, slammed head first into the door. Mike was at work. I called him bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, babe, I don't know what's going on. Magoo, I was trying to clean his cage. He went flying. He slammed into the wall. I think he broke his neck. And I literally was, 90% sure that we lost him, that he was dead. And so Mike, flies out of work and he comes over, to the house. And by the time he got home, Magoo had completely come back. He was awake, he was talking, he was
Jeez.
responsive, moving his neck, and I was like, he should have been dead. He should
Just
have been
stunned
dead.
himself. Knocked
Yeah,
himself out a little.
he knocked himself out, but it's like with how hard he hit that door, he should have been dead. Um, and so that's part of the reason that we don't really do anything with him anymore because we don't want to chance it. But
Mm-hmm.
last night, um, I got brave and I decided to take him off of the cage. And he started letting me pet his feet and his stomach. And so he fights me a little bit, but I was able to grab him there. And he's still growing feathers back on the top of his head. But the misting that I do to him daily, I guess, isn't doing a whole lot. So I decided to take him down last night, and I took a warm, damp rag, and I
Mm-hmm.
just put it over his body and just, kind of cleaned him up with it. And after about a minute of me doing that, he just went completely silent and just sat there and let me do it. And so I'm like, well, good. I'm like, it has to feel good for him getting all of those, feathers that he can't get out, getting the dander off of him, getting him nice and clean. And you should have seen it. When I went and did his head, he was pushing his head into my hand because he was enjoying
Oh.
it that much. And I'm like,
Oh.
oh, oh, my little heartstrings, you little bastard.
Oh.
Oh God, I love him. I love him. But like I said, it hurts, seeing him like that. Um, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
Truth.
Yeah, that's all you can do for them. They're your kids, and you work with what you have. Except right now, I have a whole lot of I don't knows. So
We we lost our one caged baby.
yeah, you were telling me about that the last time I saw you. Have you
Yep.
guys decided what you're gonna do? Are you gonna get another one? Or are you guys done?
I would like another one, but there's nowhere to really get them
Yeah,
in the general area.
yeah.
Um,
Besides, like, oh, did you guys take that apartment,
which one?
Fitchburg?
We want to take it. We're just waiting for the landlord to tell us that the inspection is all set.
Oh, okay. Good, 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 good. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I
I
can't
mean,
wait.
it's on the third floor, but
Well, it's not. I guess I just like the fact that you guys are going to be no more than a few minutes away. That's going to be really
yeah.
nice. And if you want to
I
come,
don't know where it is yet, but he says it's a decent spot, so I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There are a lot of spots now in Fitchburg that are kind of popping up and becoming like really cool areas. Especially with like the college with Fitchburg State, they've been buying up a lot of the property around them, and that has been one of the bad spots in Fitchburg for so long. And because of the college and what they did, they have pretty much reformed that entire area. It's awesome.
Well, that's good. I
Yeah,
mean, because I know that some spots in Fitchburg were like party hardy, like when we lived out there
yeah, yeah.
on Myrtle Street or Myrtle Ave, whatever the flying heck it's called. Some girl a couple buildings down got her smart car tipped over.
No way.
Yep, the college kids tipped over her smart car just because they could.
That's 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 messed up. That is
That was years ago,
absolutely.
but it was, and then like I said, that area was party central. That was very close to the college.
Yeah, wow, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But
Children, that'll be enough out of you. Thank you.
but yeah, so I guess I guess we'll start cuz I know people probably are going to watch this later on. I know there are at least a couple of people that will. Um
Yep.
so oh, okay. So what I wanted to actually go over today is, you remember how the other day when we were talking about our first case load that we're going to be doing with the house.
Yes.
So remember how we got into the whole um, spirits over the difference between ghosts and spirits.
Yes.
And so I don't know why it happened, but it dawned on me one day that and that's why it's so funny that you and I were talking about it, because it dawned on me. I'm like, you know, we have always told people, because we're pagan and everything like that, that we've always told people that we believe in spirits, we believe in this, we believe in that, but we've never actually given people the tools and advice to try to help debunk things themselves. And so I was like, well, you know what? Maybe we should make that a topic for this week. And so I came up with a whole list of things. First, I do want to go over like the difference between a spirit and a ghost, because I think that that's really going to help people, in the first steps of potentially doing, their own little investigation to try to figure things out for themselves. And so, what I thought is, we'll go over that. We'll go over the different types of hauntings. And then we can kind of give people like a way to, maybe possibly try to explain things for themselves. That way that, when they come in and they ask for our help, they can have more information and be armed with better knowledge, if that makes sense.
Right. They can say like we checked the basement for EMF,
Yeah, yeah,
such like that. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that that's really, and because as we know as pagans that not everything is supernatural, not everything is paranormal, and a lot of
Right.
times where things get crossed is the thing that you think that is paranormal could actually be very normal, and they just don't have the know-how or the tools to be able to figure that out.
Right.
And so with that being said, I was thinking, so you know the the difference between a ghost and a spirit is that a ghost is energy. It's not. It doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't know. It. How did we explain this the other day? It's like energy put on repeat, where it
Yes.
just consistently reenacts the same thing, and a lot of times kind of that kind of energy that gets left over is generally from some sort of tragic event.
Yes.
You'll see it with like a murder, or if there was a fire, or someone lost their life ahead of when they probably should have, and the energy that's left over from it is of that traumatic event. And so
Yeah.
that is
It's
a
residual. It
exactly. Uh,
and the other thing with that is that like the more the more you give it, the more active it'll be.
yeah,
So it's kind of like, oh, it's there, just don't make a big deal out of it
yeah,
because it'll become something more if you feed it.
exactly.
And
And
depending upon what kind of energy you feed it is what direction it'll go in.
yeah, because
So,
when it comes to stuff like that, it can get worse. It can get worse depending on how much you feed it. And
like
it's
if
sucking the energy off of you and your family. And a lot of people, they don't understand that when it's a ghost and it's a ghost type of haunting, it's literally sucking the energy off you and your family by,
yep,
and that's what's powering it. You're
that's
giving it
right.
more power. And so those kind of hauntings, they're not malicious. Like I I, I don't believe that you can technically get hurt from them. Maybe the energy might be strong enough to knock some things over or turn on some lights or things
Or
like
make
that.
a noise or something,
Yeah, but
but
generally it's not something that can hurt you.
it
Um,
takes any kind of, be it ghost or spirit, it takes a lot of energy to be able to move stuff.
oh, it does, and that's when we come into spirits. And the biggest difference between a ghost and a spirit is that a spirit is the soul of a living person. So it knows everything that's going on. It knows, sometimes it doesn't always, the person doesn't always know that they're dead. Um, but they are capable of harming if it ever came, if that spirit was a malicious person, it can harm you. Things, they have the
Yes.
power and the energy to be able to knock things over. They have the power and the energy to be able to turn things off, to turn things on, to short circuit things. Like we did a what was it? One of our investigations that we were looking into doing was that what was it, Rutland Prison Camp?
Mhm.
And you remember how I kept telling you that there were spots that the cameras would shut off. And so,
Bigger spiritual power or
bigger spiritual
something or
power.
whatnot.
Yeah. And
Yep.
so I came to the conclusion that there is possibly a spirit there, because spirits are generally the ones that have the ability and the power to do something like that. And
Geez.
the other thing with between spirits and ghosts is once they gain control of the energy that's around them, they can become more and more dangerous. So the more that they learn and the more that they learn how to harness the energy, the more damage they can inflict. And that's where a lot of like I hate using the Conjuring movies for this, but
Yes.
to explain it as best as we can, when you're looking at some of the Conjuring movies and how violent some of these entities can get, that is because they have the ability and the know how to be able to control the energy around them, which can then lead to these violent outbursts. And with that being said, I'm saying it is a haunting. It's just it's 3 times different and can be 3 times worse than a ghost.
Yeah. The other issue with the location for The Conjuring is that, um, you know, harmful things happened there to begin with. So it's no surprise that, you know, something lingered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely no surprise. It's no surprise at all. I've, you can walk into a place, and especially when you're talking about like the Conjuring movies, for example, like you can go into some of these places and you can physically feel the atmosphere is different. And
Yes.
and you don't necessarily have to be, someone who's, a psychic or clairvoyant. You don't even have to be fully, you know, in tuned with the spiritual realm. Sometimes the energy is so strong and so bad that every single
You
person can
there's
feel it.
yeah, there's like my wife and I lived on in a building out in Fall River, and it was just bad news. It ended up we ended up finding out that it was on a ley line of energy,
Oh, geez.
and they ended up, I don't know what they did with the spot, but they ended up tearing down the building.
Did they?
Yep. I don't know to this day what they did with the location itself, but they took down the building
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. It was that
because
bad.
just bad things just kept happening in the location, so they took down the building.
That's and that, that right there alone just goes to show how out of control things like this can get. Um,
And I don't really know, but like sometimes there's, and that's another pet peeve of mine, when you go and you watch these paranormal investigative shows,
hmm
that they leave open-ended situations. They go in, they piss it off, and they don't do anything about it. They don't tell
Yeah.
you nothing. They just say, "Oh, you have a haunting, blah blah blah. Let's make it angry and rile crap up."
Yeah.
And then they walk out, leaving
And
the
leave
owner of the
eggs. Yeah.
location still to deal with it. No, okay, this is what you can do. No remedy. No, okay, you should try to, work it out with the spirit. No, they walk in, they rile it up,
And then
and
they
they
walk
leave.
out. And
Yep.
and it's like that. That is what's going to be the difference between us and
Yes.
other paranormal researchers is. And it's like when the whole premise and the whole reason that this whole thing started with, ADFP and
Hmm.
Weird Neighbor Productions, and then along with Spirit Talk, that premise, that mentality that these shows are showing is why I decided to do something like this, why I decided to take action, because I want to show people that there is a right and wrong way to do things, and that when you want to take paranormal stuff seriously, and you should take it seriously, you can't go in and just start messing with things and expect
Right.
an outcome to be okay, because it's not. When you're, especially when you're talking about a spirit that is a spirit itself and is aware of what's going on around it.
Hmm.
If you go in and you disturb its space and you don't talk to it, and it's someone who may not necessarily know that they're dead, well, guess what? You just pissed it off, and now you have a bigger problem on your hands than just, you know, a spirit wandering around. And these shows, they don't tell people that, and people get wise ideas of, well, they can do it, so I can do it, and that's not always the case, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and people don't understand that. So it's like they shouldn't be, people that don't know what they're doing shouldn't be messing with stuff like this. That's where you can leave it to
Right.
professionals, to people that know what they're doing and know how to handle it.
And then
And
where I was going with that is that there can be resolutions. Like there are things you can do
hmm
to work with. an upset spirit or whatnot.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
but then there are going to be some times where there's something that's just too flippin' big, and it's you're not going to be able to like remedy it. There's not going to be a remedy.
No. Especially when it comes to other entities outside the spirit realm.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into the more darker situations,
Right.
and it's like you people shouldn't be messing with that. Like even
No.
us as professionals, as people that we have been doing this stuff, maybe not ghost hunting per se, but we have been in this line of religion and in this line of work for so long that we know when enough is enough. And if you walk into a place where we ourselves don't feel comfortable, there's something wrong, and there's something very, very wrong. And people, they 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 won't
They
listen.
play with it and they poke it.
Uh-huh. And a lot of people, though, their minds, I've noticed, usually always go towards demons. Like, when there's anything that goes on, spirits are the first thing, and demons are directly after that. And ghosts, they never really touch base on, because let's face it, a ghost haunting is probably one of the more passive and least
Mm-hmm.
aggressive, things. So they don't want to say ghost because now the storyline changes and it doesn't go along with the dramatic, scenes that they want to
Right.
put in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's also important to stress that situations like that, situations that come up that are bad enough where the property should just be abandoned and left to sit, those
Right.
situations do not happen very often at all. Like, they are extremely
No.
rare to find something that bad.
It's gonna be bad
Yeah.
for like something like that.
And it's also because, when you're looking at the supernatural, the paranormal, um, you're dealing with a spirit. And a lot of times it's because that spirit doesn't know that it's dead. It doesn't know that it has moved on. And, it could just be as simple as, you know, connecting with the spirit and saying, hey, listen, you've passed on. We understand that it's scary. We understand that, it may be hard for you to accept, but we are here to help you. We are here to help you move on. And if you choose to stay, we will respect your boundaries and, we will be friendly. And a lot of times, like look at my old house. You remember how we had that entity that lived, what was it, in the attic, and it come to find out he was just misunderstood. And so
Right.
I made a deal with him, and we never had a problem after that. And it's like, some people, they got to realize that sometimes the truest of hauntings, the truest of spirits are, and this happens more often than not, they just need help. They just need to hear that, okay, yes, I have passed on, and I have these people here that, are talking to me, are trying to communicate, and are trying to help me. And that's all they need. Like, how many times have we come across that? It's crazy. Did you mute yourself?
Nope, I'm here. I had to read something that nothing related, of course, but
So, so
mhm.
I had posted with this episode of Spirit Talk that I have kind of like a small announcement to make. It's an announcement and it's a question
Okay.
in the same token. So I have been thinking about merchandise and coming up with a way for people that if they choose and want to buy merchandise with our logo on it, um, that can actually help, support the channel, support what we do, will help us get, a revenue coming in so that we can upgrade the channel, upgrade equipment, get more equipment to produce better shows. And so I wanted to find out if anyone, might be interested in stuff like that. Merchandise as far as like maybe we'll do like shirts or mugs or a hat. A hat, the one hat.
A hat.
A hat, the one.
The one.
But this is one of the shirts. Is this guy. And that guy is the only one that I have right now. There are actually 3 circulating around Massachusetts right now. There's mine, my mom has one, and my mother-in-law has one. So I'm like I said, I'm kind of curious. So if anybody is interested in getting some merchandise, drop a comment. I'll read them, and if there's enough people that seem like they're interested in buying shirts or something, I'll start up a merch store.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep. And then we said something about this earlier, but we didn't actually go further into it. We are actually going to be doing our first home investigation. Supposed to happen this weekend, but I don't think it's going to, with the camera situation, we have to get that resolved before we can do this because we need that third camera. But what I'm thinking is, I
Well,
want.
how long will the house owner be away?
I think 3 weeks.
Okay.
3 weeks or so. So we have time. We definitely have time. But I have a feeling because, the house isn't huge, but it is 3 levels, and there are 3 bedrooms. And so because of that, we're going to need to really, we're going to have to split up and we're going to have to take each floor because if we try to do it, as a group, going one floor to the next, like we're going to be there for hours.
Right.
And I have a feeling as it is that this location is probably going to have multiple investigations done. So what I think is going to wind up happening is we're going to do the first shoot of it, do our initial investigation. If we find something, we're probably going to have to go back and do a second. I don't see the need to ever go back and do a third unless the location is so big and we caught so much that we need to have a little more of an explanation. But other than that, like I don't see us doing more than 2 visits to this location. But it's awesome though. It's awesome. It's definitely awesome having our first home visit and getting to put it on YouTube for ADFP. It's it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be our first real episode. Oh, we have someone in the chat.
We do.
Hello. Oh, it's my bestie. It's my bestie.
Hello, bestie.
So, I wish that I could get the stupid chat box thing working. The one that's to the right of me underneath the logo.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, ever since I switched over to YouTube,
Because YouTube has its own chat.
yeah, but I I have a link that I can put the chat into, and
Oh,
for whatever reason, it just doesn't wanna work. But
listen, stuff just doesn't want to work in general. Like I said, roll with what does work. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on the positive. Focus on the positive.
there is no positive. Listen,
There is positive.
Murphy's Murphy's
Don't be.
law not only applies to us, but that bitch is a steamroller and rolls us over.
From green to green, red to red, all is well. Go ahead.
Oh God, I will be right back. I have to run and do something.
You want to put the thingy up?
Yep.
Okay.
I am.
Wootage.
Woot, woot, woot. Sorry about that. Allie wanted to go out.
Mm-hmm.
My little munchkin.
Yeah, you're little shit.
Oh, no kidding.
All of them are little shits.
They really are, every
They're
single
cute.
one.
They're cute. They're cute, but my nieces and nephews are little shits.
And they're spoiled rotten. Oh, are they
I
spoiled?
agree. I agree. I've done that. Yes. I've contributed to the spoiling.
Oh my god. Yeah, we have done a real number on her. I'm saying she already had a high strung attitude and now she just skipped over to diva.
Yep.
She's such a brat. But I love her.
It's like, okay, Ms. Whitney Houston.
Whitney
Yep.
Houston. That's awesome. That is
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Hey, get out of there. Don't go in there again. Yeah, she's such a turd. So, but where were we? We were talking about merchandise. Okay. So,
Um, the only thing I'm concerned about is putting in money into something that might not lift off.
see, the really cool thing, okay, is one of the sites that I use that helps me monitor and control my stream.
Hmm.
Um, they have a merch store,
Oh, okay.
and you pay for the merch that comes out when it comes out. So when somebody buys something,
Uh-huh.
that's when I would get charged for it, and then X amount of percentage comes back to me or what to the channel and whatnot. So there's no like upfront costs, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, but yeah. So other than that, I'm saying the merch, the merch store. I've been fiddling with that for probably about maybe a few weeks now, and I've been kind of like mulling it over, and I'm like, well, do I really want to do that? Invest the time to coming up with the logo and stuff to put on the merchandise, and then I have to do different logos for different things depending on because I can't obviously use the same logo for every single thing. Because then, some stuff will need to be scaled up, scaled down, and if it's scaled down too much, then you're going to lose the details. So,
Either
um,
way, yeah, you lose details. You don't need
yes.
to.
So, what I think I'm going to wind up doing is I think I'm going to go to my people and I'm going to ask them to do what do you call it? I think I'm going to have them design a couple of logos for me to put onto
Mm,
merchandise, and we'll kind
that
of
could
take it
work.
from there. But I definitely though like I want people's input. I want to see what people say before I go and do something like that. So if people are interested in merchandise, definitely let us know, um, because then I can get a merch store up and going and whatnot. But yeah, so that's fun.
That'll be fun.
It's no.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Could you just hear the sarcasm in my voice?
Yup.
So, but yeah, so when it comes to, though, getting back on topic, when it comes to, what is it, like hauntings and different things like that, like people just, they need to be careful. You don't want to get in over your head, because if you get in over your head, then, it's going to make our job
Right.
as, paranormal investigators that much
That
harder.
much harder.
Yeah.
Especially if something goes, malicious.
Yeah, exactly. And something can, especially when it comes to do with like spirits or anything else in the paranormal realm apart from
Hmm.
ghosts. it can get serious, and it can get serious fast. And, like I know from personal experience on how bad things can get because I've seen things get bad. Um, as well as you, like, you should probably share one of your stories because you got some war stories of your own.
I have very scary stories, like it should be the cautionary whale stories kind of thing, you
Yeah,
know?
yep, yep, no kidding. Because, like, and it's like, between the two of us, like, I have had, no lie, like, when I was living out of state for a while, where I was living, Geronimo, I don't know if anybody is familiar with Geronimo, the Native American.
Geronimo.
Yeah, that one. So,
Yep.
um, where I lived, I was about a 10-minute walk from my house to the jail cell that he was held in.
Jeez.
I had actually slept over in the house that he hid out in. And it was my friend's house. And I've had, spirits actually. Like, there was one that I will never forget. I'm laying in bed, okay, and it said that where our house, our development was, it said that that was actually old, ancient Native American burial ground. And we came in and built on top of it. And so the things that happened there, and this was before I really understood what clairvoyance was. This was before I had like a real ability to grasp and understand that. And so I woke up, um, and it had to have been at like 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
And I had this spirit. And the reason that I woke up was because I heard something yelling. And this spirit was like this close to my face, like right on top of me,
Oof.
screaming, absolutely screaming. And it was like one of those surreal moments where you can't figure out, is this real? Is this just a dream? Is this a lucid dream? And it took me like the rest of the night because I couldn't go back to bed. So it took me the rest of the night to really grasp and understand what had just happened. And it was
Jeez.
absolutely petrifying. Absolutely petrifying. The single handed worst encounter with the paranormal that I've ever had in my life. And with you and I, we have our war stories, and out of everything that personally I have dealt with, that was the worst. And I didn't know how to handle it. At that age, I think I was 16. So it's like I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to handle it, didn't even know who to turn to. Um, and because of when it happened and how it happened, it's like it
Right.
was one of those things where how do you go to, a family member and say, this is what happened to me last night, and then them take you seriously?
Right. And
And
that's the thing with a lot of paranormal situations is that no one wants to take you seriously because that stuff doesn't exist.
exactly. And this is where, you know, uh, where kids are innocent. Kids are innocent. And because of that, they're in tuned into things that us as adults aren't generally in tune to, you know? And so when it comes to kids, if your child is coming to you and saying, you know, Mommy, Daddy, I saw a monster in my room. I saw this. I saw that. I saw a
Mm-hmm.
shadow. When it gets into specific detailing, like they say
Mm-hmm.
that there was a person in their room, there was a monster in their room, and they can sit there and tell you what it looks like, you know, odds are at least 6 out of 10 times it's something there. And a warning to parents: take your kids seriously. If they tell you that something is
Mm-hmm.
going on, don't just shrug it off and be like, oh, that's an overactive imagination. Kids are sensitive just like animals are. I say that animals have one part in our world and another part in the supernatural.
Yep,
Kids
for sure.
can be very similar to that. They can have one foot in the natural and one foot in the paranormal because their mind is still developing. So they're
That's
still sensitive to all of that.
See, there's an episode of, I don't know if you watched the show Bones any,
I did.
but where the little girl was telling Bones and the dad Booth, my imaginary friend Buddy wants cake today, and it happened to be their dead friend's birthday,
Oh,
and a psychic they had a psychic friend played by Cyndi Lauper on the show, and she looked at them and she went, "Imaginary friend, imaginary," and they all looked at each other like, "Oh, okay,"
yeah.
like.
And it's like the thing is because adults are so growing up 9 times out of 10, we are taught that the paranormal isn't real. We are taught to ignore our feelings, our senses, to anything related to that. And the sad reality is, a formalized religion is part of the reason for that. Not always, but it does play a factor. And so once you kind of lose that sense, you're in a way ignorant of the supernatural paranormal world. And kids, though, are not. They haven't had that innocence
Mhm.
taken from them. They haven't had that side taken from
Right.
them yet. And that's why, like I warn parents, like, if your child is coming to you and saying there's X, Y, and Z, and they're giving you details, or even if they don't come to you and you see them drawing something, it's not always going to be, it could just be an overactive imagination, but,
Right.
still take it
Kids are on a different
seriously.
frequency.
Yep. But, parents should take it seriously, because just because you
Right.
don't see something or just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not there. And, there are so many kids that are shut out that, it's sad, and that's where, one, they start losing that connection, and
Right.
two, that can actually do damage to a child, like if a child
Hmm.
is saying to you, like, this is there, this person is there in my room, this, thing is
Right.
there in my room, and you're telling them, no, it's not there, no, 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 you're basically effectively
That's
making them feel like they're crazy.
Yep. And that's the other thing, is that like all these parents that have kids saying that, and then they like whisk them off to the goddamn psychologist.
Yep, yep,
And it's like, "Oh, drugs are the answer. Here, let's suppress your child further."
exactly. And it's like
Mhm.
the the other half of the coin, and their parents, some parents are caught in between places, when it comes to this subject, and that I can understand, because some parents, they, their initial instinct is to want to protect their child and to figure out, why is my child seeing this? Is this an overactive imagination? Should I be concerned about this? Is this a psychological problem? And I'm not saying don't get help, but I'm saying also listen to your child. Listen to what they're
Right.
talking about, listen to what they're saying, give them a voice, let them show you what they're talking about. And if you come out the other end believing that it still is something more along the lines of psychological, or an overactive imagination, then you can handle it from there. But at least hear the child out. That's the important thing, and that's the thing that I cannot stress enough, is to hear the child out. Don't just shut them down. Sad. Sad the world that we live in.
It really is. Like, I could get into so much, but no.
Mm. It's but the paranormal, though, when it comes to topics like this,
Yeah.
it's not always, because things aren't always black and white.
Nope.
And
Nothing is black and white. I mean,
exactly. And the thing is that people, us as human beings, we need to rationalize things. And what happens with paranormal? You can't always rationalize that. There's no link to a physical, a physical thing, just like how, um, when you see, example, when you see like a leaf moving on its own, you attribute that to the wind.
hmm
There's an actual physical presence that you're understanding, and that you're seeing, and
right.
you're seeing
And
and
there's
feeling.
and there's not always that process when it comes to the paranormal.
Exactly, exactly. And it's like there are times that, like, even I can sometimes have problems with that. Even I can, I have to stop and I have to think, like, okay, what did I just see? What did I just hear? What did I just feel? What did I just smell? And you have to go through your senses,
hmm
because once you really start in tuning yourself with your senses is when things are going to become a lot clearer. But until that point, and until you're grounded, and until you've opened your mind up enough, you won't understand it. The more you're closed off, the harder it will be to, reopen yourself back up. What is that?
What's what?
Um,
Are you hearing my fan in the background
no,
clicking?
no.
No?
Someone just messaged me, and I'm trying to figure out. Um,
Okay.
what they're seeing her. Yeah, I can't tell what she's saying. If she's in the room, I'm gonna have her try to. Oh, okay. Cindy, try chatting in the live box next to me. On the right hand side, you should see it. You'll see there's a little smiley face from one of my friends saying hello, and a nice little smile face. I'm gonna do the smoochy smoochies on that smile face. So she was saying jaded adults, as well as religious teaching, that it's evil or the devil in what they are seeing or experiencing, and that is very true. When it comes to the paranormal, and because of how many people in the world follow some sort of Christianity, whether it be Muslim, whether it be Protestant, Catholic, all of them. There's a vast amount of people that follow that. And the sad reality is a lot of these people, they teach, the younger generations and even the older generations that all of that is evil. And it's not.
Right.
The spirit realm is not, it's not evil. It's not evil. You got to remember that the spirit realm, in some way, shape, or form, is connected to all of us. Every
Right.
single one of us. We have our ancestral past in the spirit world. And until
Yep.
people understand that, you're going to be closed off from it. And, the spirit world has just as much to do with you as
Right.
your best friend or your sister or your brother does in this life. So, but it really is. It's sad. It's sad the world that we live in has shut themselves off to stuff like this. And I think that if there were more people that, could take a stand and say, listen, we need to band together because there's a spiritual world that we are not familiar with, that we don't 100% understand. And in order for us to understand that, we have to band together. We have to trust one another. We have to acknowledge that everybody has their own way of doing things, whether, when it comes to religion. And there isn't one right or wrong way. Your connection to the spiritual realm, to either your god, your goddess, the tree that you worship in the backyard, like it doesn't
Does
matter.
it doesn't particularly have anything like you can believe what you want, you believe in heaven, you can believe in hell, but like religion aside, this I feel like the spirit world is like totally distant, like totally separate from that
It
because
is.
it's there no matter what you believe. Like
It is. It is. And you're very right.
people of all faiths and ethnic backgrounds and stuff have recorded or spoken of like of spirits and ghosts.
Yeah.
It's in every race. It's that they use religion to sort of mold and describe it, but it is recorded.
Yeah. And
So it doesn't matter what religion you slap on it.
yeah,
It's all the
it's all
same.
the same. There is no difference between one and the other. If you look at every single religion out there, okay, and you really get into the core of it, and you look
Mhm.
at all the nitty gritty of every single religion, the core stuff is in every religion. It does not matter what you preach, what you practice. The core and the fundamentals and the foundation of every religion is built off of the same platform. But everybody thinks that their religion is right, and no one
Right.
wants to ever admit that, we're all right. We're all the product of the universe. Um, we're all, and I hate to sound like a cliche, but we came from dust, and to dust we will return one day. You know,
Earth.
and so as cliche as that sounds, it is the truth. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter your creed, it doesn't matter your race. You are a flesh and bone person.
Hmm. You know, when we pass on, we need to start a haunted forest. You get your body cremated, put into a tree sapling, and then they put the tree in the ground. And there's a meme that goes, "Do you want haunted forest? That's how you get haunted forest."
Oh my god. Oh, that's horrible, but it's so true.
Forest is how you get haunted forest.
So listen to this, okay? So I watched this lady. Um, her YouTube channel is called Ask a Mortician. Ask a Mortician, and she talks. She's a mortician, and she talks about death and having a good death, and how us as people have been really pulled away from it. You go back a couple of 100 years ago, and you, when someone died in your family, it was your
Right,
responsibility to take care of that body. You were the one
right.
that washed, prepared, and buried.
Yep.
And today's things, we're very detached from it. Like, very, very, very detached. And it's sad to see how detached we are from death. And, the reason that I
People
bring
fear it.
it, they do.
Pe-
They do. They fear death. Everybody fears death. And what I find funny is how you were talking about the green burial, the haunted forest. She
yeah.
is a very huge promoter of green burials. She is a huge promoter of having more naturalistic burials. And because of
Yeah.
her, the burial that I'm going to do, the burial that I'm going to do and the burial that I want to do is what is called a green burial.
Hmm.
And my headstone isn't going to be a headstone, it's going to be a tree.
That's very Celtic.
Uh huh. Listen, my
Y-
body is going to rot right where it's supposed to be at.
Yep. It reminds me of what they do in The Wicker Man, the original.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
They bury the person and then they plant the tree on the grave.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do. As a matter of fact, I already have it written up. I know the cemetery that allows green burial. There are two things that I actually personally want to do. One is be cremated and my ashes spread over a coral reef, because me in the ocean, like I have just that deep sense and connection with it for whatever reason.
But they won't do that.
They
I don't
will.
think they'll
They
I
will.
don't think will they?
Yeah, they have. They
Doesn't that
have.
affect the biology of it though?
No, no, because it's just ashes. It's just your bones.
Huh.
And so
Okay.
they have to. You have to have a special permit in order to do it. But it is allowed. You can have it done, and there are services that provide it for you. And
Okay.
so I either want to be cremated and my ashes scattered at sea, or
Mm.
I want to be put into a natural coffin and buried and have a tree planted instead of a headstone. And it's like, to me, it's so beautiful, to think of that. So that's nice. It's nice. But where was I going? So Miss Cindy, I want you to try something. Are you logged into your Google account? Because if you're on the YouTube page and you can't speak inside the chat, it could actually be because you're not logged in. Is that right, Carissa?
Wait, what is it?
Cindy is having trouble participating in the chat. Um,
It might be that you have to be logged into YouTube.
yeah, I think you do. I think you do. Is there? I hope Billy is still there. Billy, if you are still here, can you see if you need to be logged into the into YouTube account in order to be able to post to the chat. We need moderators. Okay, can you would you mind looking that up for me? Because I think that you have to be logged in order to chat. Unless I hit something and did something wrong. No, because there's no way to do that. Not with YouTube. There's a way to do that with Twitch. Yeah, okay. I'm going to copy and paste that, Cindy, so that other people can see it. So this is what Cindy just said.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Cindy. We'll get you figured out, don't worry. Eventually,
Yep.
we'll get everybody figured out. If there are people that are having trouble, and to anybody that watches this later on, if anybody has trouble getting on, can't, talk in the chat or something, please let us know and we can try to help you and walk you through it. We want everybody to be included, and this is why we switched from Twitch over to YouTube, to make it easy for everybody else, because most of the people have. Okay, yeah, you do have to log in, Cindy. So later on today, tonight, when we're done with the stream, I can probably help you log in and get you set up with that. But yeah, so I think we're probably close to wrapping up. Maybe. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
You want haunted forest? That's how you get haunted forest.
I can't. I'm done. I quit.
I sent you the meme.
Did you really? Ugh,
Yeah,
see, I didn't see it. Let me see. Hang on.
In a Facebook.
Let me see.
In the Facebook message.
This is what I love about this. We have way too much fun. I'm just letting you guys know. We have a. I'm sorry.
That kid, yep. That kid in that, yep. That's how you get haunted forest.
Oh, that is so. You need to post that on the ADFP Facebook page.
You can do that.
That is good. That is good.
Oh, someone's smoking pot outside again.
Ugh.
Yep.
We have that same problem. Our next door neighbors, the kids do.
Ugh.
The kids do it. Ugh. Like, I could be. There was a few weeks back, hubby and me, we were actually sitting out on the deck with a fire going, and we wound up having to go back inside because that's all we could smell. And I'm like, come on, like, seriously, like, I can't even be out on my own deck without having to smell that. There are edibles, right? And they do the same thing. So, actually, so Billy, did you get to hear about the announcement on merchandise? I don't know if you and Cindy, did you hear about the announcement for merchandise? I want to see who heard about it, because I really am.
I heard.
Like, I'm seriously like, would you? How about you two? Krissa and Tanya, would you guys be interested in merch? Well, you guys are going to get shirts from me, but
I want a hat.
You want a hat?
I want a hat.
Okay, perfect. Good. Okay. So yeah, we'll I'm going to see how many people would like that. Normally I'm not one to talk about, money and donations and things like that. But I did put up a donation page. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason that we are doing that is we're trying to grow our channel. And
Yes.
we really, we have, as of right now, I've been pooling my own funds into this, which is completely okay because I love it. And so we want to do more, though. We want to get more involved. We want to get more equipment. We want to get, things to be able to bring all of our viewers better content. And so we decided to do the donation page, and now I'm looking at starting up the merch store because I figured, hey, doesn't hurt, right? Doesn't hurt. But yeah, so as our beautiful viewers, I wish I could pet everybody's hair. This is me petting your hair.
Oh, yay.
Everybody, look, just do this.
Pet. Everybody
Pet.
pat your own head.
I don't want to pet my own head. That's boring. Who wants to pet their own head? Okay, I will.
See, I'm patting you. Imagine I'm patting you.
Imagine I'm petting
Imagine
you.
I'm patting you.
My hair today. I'm telling you, I don't know what the heck is wrong with it.
Honey, your
Ooh.
hair looks fine. Would you stop?
Pet the hair.
You're such a girl.
I am. I
You're
am.
such a girl.
Listen, I get beautiful locks, okay?
You're
Oof,
such a girl.
I have beautiful
You
locks.
killing me? You really killing me?
Oh, God. It's like, but right now, because you know how today has been really hot.
It's
And
been
it's,
warm, yeah.
oh my God, so my hair is like falling on my neck. And it's
Put
making
it,
my neck hot. And so, I'm having like
put it,
mini hot flashes.
put it in a ponytail.
That means I have to get up.
When it says, turn off, I says.
Little hot flashes. Whew, Lord.
This is not Burger King. You cannot have it your way.
Listen, I am going to have it my way, whether you like it or not. Oh, okay. So, you know what? We forgot to talk about some other stuff.
What's that?
So,
Don't sew me.
I'm trying to
That
talk.
that threw you off. That threw you off.
Yeah, yes, my Goldilocks. I love my Goldilocks. They're not very goldy on the top, but they're locks on the bottom. So, the other things that I wanted to say and talk about is your mind and the paranormal. So, remember how we were talking about earlier giving, our viewers the tools to potentially be able to debunk their own things, or not debunk, but basically give them the tools to be able to help us better understand what's going on, so that when they call someone in, they know what to do. And, they can say, oh, we've done X, Y, and Z, and it still doesn't explain it. We have this happen, we've
Yep.
had that happen. So, your mind plays a huge role when it comes to the paranormal.
It
And
very much does.
and so and a good example of this is when you look at, say, an abandoned house or an abandoned factory or a cemetery that is, hundreds of years old, and the tombstones are falling apart or cracked, it's overgrown. That just by itself gives an element and a heavy, like it can give like a heavy feeling, almost like
Yep.
anxiety. And the reason for that is it might not actually be, paranormal related. It could just be that your mind is playing tricks on you. Because
Yep.
you know that this area is abandoned. You know that, that house down the street that has windows busted out, no one lives there. And rumors can spread.
For sure.
And so the kind of things that will then transpire is, say you go in and you try to do an investigation on your own, and now you're hearing things, or you thought you saw a shadow figure, or your equipment isn't, working correctly. Your mind is automatically going to go to the paranormal. And the biggest thing that I say, um, and Carissa can definitely vouch for this because it's the whole basis of our show.
Hmm.
We do not go into locations knowing any of the paranormal. And
Nope.
we also, like, we don't even know if these locations are haunted. And the reason for that is if you go in and you know that people have had X, Y, and Z experience with paranormal there,
It
you're,
colors it colors your own experience.
yep, and it makes you unbiased. And so, that's where you'll start hearing, like, every noise that you hear will feel like a possibility of it being paranormal. You might see stuff at the corner of your eye and it might have just been a shadow cast by like a light or something. And you're going to think that, oh, this is, I just saw a shadow figure. And it's your mind literally playing tricks on you. So
Definitely.
when you're looking at the paranormal and you're looking at, how do I do, how do I know if my mind is playing tricks on me or not? Well, 9 times out of 10, most hauntings are actually just a trick of the mind. Hauntings are not as, common? If that's,
No.
yeah, they're not as
A
common as what
true
people,
a true haunting is very few and far between.
yeah. And so the things that we really wanted to drive home to people is some of the things that can happen, and why your mind can potentially play tricks on you. And so one of the things is infrasound, infrasound,
Hmm.
which is sound waves with frequency below the limits of human ability. So it's below what we ourselves can hear.
Right.
And that is very, very similar to EMF. EMF is electromagnetic field.
Right.
And a lot of times, ghosts, believe it or not, ghosts and spirits do emit EMF. So not only is EMF used as a investigation tool, it's also used at the same time to try to debunk things. EMF as well as infrasound. The both of them can cause, like infrasound, for example, can cause ringing in your ear. It can cause like an equilibrium imbalance. It can mess
Hmm.
with your head. EMF, especially if you are very, 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 very sensitive to EMF.
Right.
EMF can make you have anxiety, can make the air and the atmosphere around you feel very, very heavy. It can play tricks on your mind because it can actually affect your mind, which means that you could start seeing things or hearing things that aren't actually there. And it, the anxiety, when it brings anxiety, that alone is enough to freak people out. So not every single haunting is a haunting. Sometimes it's just as simple as you need to move furniture or where you spend most of your time away
Right.
from anything that has, a high EMF output. And you can actually get EMF detectors very, very cheap on Amazon. And you can go around your house and, look it up on the internet. Look up, what are the levels of EMF that it can start affecting a human person. Take that EMF detector and run around your house with it. It make a game out of it. Be like, ooh, this thing over here. Let's see how far this goes. One time I had a EMF spike that it was in my own house, and it's actually the house that I'm living in now, Rissa. And I went over to my circuit box. That box outputs a lot of EMF, and that is enough to
Jeez.
mess with anybody. Circuit boxes, circuit breakers are a number one cause of anxiety, or a number one cause behind some hauntings. Because people, especially if you're really, really, really sensitive, you're gonna get that feeling of just heaviness. You're gonna get the anxiety. You're gonna feel like there's a presence in the room, that somebody's watching you. It can cause hallucinations. It can cause you to hear things that aren't there. So, sometimes, like I was saying, EMF is the trick. And then, your mind, where I touch base on that, your mind can also play tricks. So if you go into a location thinking, okay, well, X, Y, and Z stuff has happened here that's included with the paranormal, well, your mind is automatically going to switch to that. And so now
Right.
you're going to have
It
3 times more experiences than as if you went in completely unaware. So,
makes me glad that ours is in the basement.
I never knew that you guys had one.
We have an electrical box, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Dur. I thought you were talking about a paranormal thing.
A what?
I thought you were talking about like a ghost. Like you guys had a ghost in your house.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I never felt anything there though.
Passing by type stuff.
Oh, like the house that we're going to be investigating this weekend?
Possibly. We had one in our old place on Main Street
Yeah.
that all it wanted was to smell the scent of baking cookies one more time.
Really?
Yep, and then it went away.
Oh, see, that just pulls at my heartstrings.
That's all he
Oh.
wanted. Like because Tanya's very sensitive and she hears them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kitty is very sensitive and she was like, all this poor guy wants is for us to make cookies. He wants us to make cookies. And I'm like, okay, let's slap some cookies on a cookie sheet and make them happy.
That's sweet. That is so
Yep.
sweet.
That
Wow.
was that was one positive adventure.
That is, and like, if you think your house is haunted, obviously do not provoke the spirit. Do not start making threats. Do not start making demands saying you need to come out and show yourself. You need to do this. You need to do that, because you're just going to make things worse. The best
More of
thing,
it was more of a you need to tell me what you want or need if you
exactly,
can. If you
exactly.
can. And he did.
Yeah. And so it's like when it comes to hauntings, one, you should always leave any removal to you know um, to professionals.
It's one thing if they leave on their own or just kind of hang out and leave you be, but
Yeah, and so if you find that you have a spirit in your house that you think might be messing with you, talk to it. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I know it sounds weird, but talk to it. Say, hey, listen, like, I want to coexist in this house with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to be offensive. I'm not going to do anything that will purposely make you think I'm upsetting you. I want us to live together in peace.
Yep.
And
Cohabitate in
it,
harmony.
exactly. And sometimes that is literally all it takes. Like some of the worst hauntings, some of the worst incidences with the paranormal can actually be misunderstood. And all it takes is just oh, hey, you know what? I
Let's
understand.
try this.
Yeah, and I understand that this was your space. I understand that, you may not be moving on. You may not want to move on, or you did move on and you came back. But I would love to really, give you the peace of mind and knowing that we can live together and will respect you. And that's all it takes, you know. But if you're noticing things are bad, like really bad, don't even try.
Right.
just no, just say and that's when you got to call in a professional.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we gave a lot of tools today, and I hope everybody was able to learn something new from today's spirit talk, because that's our goal, is to give our viewers and our followers the information that a lot of people want but are too afraid to ask for.
Yes.
So,
That's what we're here to do.
yep, we're here for you guys. We're here to build a nice little community. We also have a Discord channel that was started up. So I'm still trying to decide if I want to invite followers to that, or if I want to have that just for ADFP and Spirit Talk staff.
Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely something to think about. Yeah, we'll let you guys know when we decide if we're gonna do a. We probably wind up starting up a Discord page, because I know that there are a few people that use it, so we can get a nice little community going. Yeah, you know what? That sounds good. You know what? Yeah, we will. We'll make one for staff, and we'll make one for regular followers. But anyway, I think that wraps up tonight. What do you guys think?
I think I need this new bath bomb from Fragrant Jewels. From Fragrant Jewels.
What?
I think I need this new bath bomb
Oh my god.
because they have rings inside them and they're gorgeous. So just saying.
Oh, I've seen those. That's too funny.
The
Rissa?
the new the new moon ones. I need this in my life.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
I need this. This needs to happen in my life. I need all those rings that come inside them. Those are gorgeous. Just
That's
saying.
awesome, though. I've seen them, and I've also seen them blow up in the tub, which I think is
They're pretty.
hysterical. They are. I heard they were dyeing people's skin.
No, I've done 2 or 3 of them and it's fine.
Really?
Yep.
They probably got it from some no-name place
Yeah.
in
No, this
China.
is this is the Fragrant Jewels ones. I've been given 2 or 3 of them from a friend out in Colorado.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. And one was the one came out with like a fairy ring. It's real pretty. And then the other one that I got was Gay Pride, and it came out with a rainbow ring.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
That is awesome. Well, alrighty, everyone. We are gonna conclude today's Spirit Talk session. We actually went for what, 2 hours? Almost 2 hours. Wow.
We did, but we got off track and rambled about stuff too, so that's okay though.
But you know what? I like that though, because it makes it more interesting.
It does. Random stuff from the priestess. I need this. Thanks.
All right. Well, You all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next Saturday.
And Mercury is going to be in retrograde. Watch out for that.
Yay! Yay, Mercury in retrograde. So everybody be aware. It's going to be Mercury's in retrograde, I think, starting, what, Tuesday? Wednesday? Monday?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks so hard.
It does. It does. But you guys have a safe rest of your weekend and a safe week, and we will see you all next Saturday. Have a
Peace
good
out,
night.
girl.